Hi YouTube, I'm Tandy, the Pioneer Guy. I've recently made a Patreon where you can help me make content full-time. That Patreon link's going to be in the description below. If you like the video here on YouTube, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button at the end. Thanks for watching. Hi YouTube, Tandy here. Today we're going to be playing Bant Endless Detour Control through a league on Magic Online. With new Capenna being released just yesterday, it's been kind of hard to get new cards, not gonna lie. They're some of them are kind of expensive, but some of them are not. And the Endless Detour is one of the ones that I wanted to try out, and it turns out it wasn't very expensive yet. So this card is going to be the focal point of this deck. This is our main piece of interaction that's going to be really versatile throughout all of our games and matchups. I don't think I'm going to side it out ever. It's 3 mana, Bant colors. You basically put a spell, permanent that's not a land, or a card in a graveyard on top or bottom of its owner's deck, and the owner gets to choose. This card's a lot like a Divide by Zero, if that's something that you've played with before. But basically, if your opponent plays a spell, you can target it with Endless Detour, and they choose top or bottom. If they have a permanent you don't like, you target it, they choose top or bottom. If you have a card in your graveyard you want to get back, like a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, or a Hydroid Krasis, you choose, put it on top, right? Now, it also has the other side of being able to put a card from your opponent's graveyard on the top or the bottom of their deck. So if they're playing Grease Fang or some Reanimator type thing, even Kroxa, you can choose to put their Kroxa on the top or bottom of the deck, you know? So it can make it a little wonky for them in some spots. The rest of the deck is a lot of your normal blue-white control fare. We have Teferi, Wandering Emperor, Supreme Verdict. But one thing that I really like about this deck is Growth Spiral, Nissa Who Shakes the World, and Hydroid Krasis. These are basically leaning into the kind of tempo play the Endless Detour offers, where you can kind of hit some early mana generation, and then when you get to play Endless Detour on your opponent's thing, you can untap and immediately punish them with Nissa, Hydroid Krasis, or some other permanent like Teferi or even Shark Typhoon. The Memory Deluges work well with our mostly instant speed deck. The Shark Typhoons being able to cycle when we have big mana gives us a payoff for all these Growth Spirals and Nissas. And then March of the Otherworldly Light is just an awesome removal spell that allows us to pitch some of these kind of more expensive white cards to help take out big permanents early in the game for fairly cheap. We got some Censors early into Dovin's Veto that we can cast or cycle. And the mana base is fairly straightforward. 2 copies of Hall of the Storm Giants. The rest is like dual lands with a few basics to prevent us from getting hosed by Field of Ruin, and then 1 Boseiju and 1 Otawara as our utility lands. We're not playing a Ganjo. Maybe 1 Ganjo is probably okay, but the white can be kind of wonky sometimes as just only tapping for white, doesn't cast Growth Spiral, etc. Sideboard, a couple recipes for the graveyard, a Hullbreaker Horror as a finale, 2 Narset Parter Veils to help out against combo and card draw effect decks, 3 Disputes, other blue strategies, 2 Ether Gusts, which are great against red and green decks alike, 2 Yasharn, which are excellent against the sacrifice decks, and I think that with Obnixilis running around, Yasharn's going to be quite good. And then 2 Damping Sphere as our anti-Lotus Field card to go along with our counterspells. We are we do have the ability to play Kahira the Orphan Guard, since Jellyfish, Hydra, Beast is one of the ones on Kahira, right? Beast, which is weird. So we do get to play Krasis and Kahira together, which is nice. So we have kind of a free Kahira to get back to use with either March or just have a body to block with. So anyway, that's the deck. Bant Endless Detour. Let's go ahead and run it through a league. Learn is not quite a card. All right, we're here for round number 1 with Bant Endless Detour Control. Let's go ahead and be on the play. Reveal our companion. Let's see. We'll do a companion count to see how many times I forget to reveal. No lander mole, easy mole. Keep this one. I'm gonna put back Censor, I think, so I can just Growth Spiral and hit on my land drops. They're also Gigantho, which means there's Rakdos Sack probably, so they're gonna be a little slow. Luckily we have this island, so we can leave with Temple Garden so we don't deal ourselves damage. Should do a Triumph count to see how often you'd fetch it. Well, we're not playing Fetch Land Janini, because we're not playing Pioneer, my friends. We're not playing Modern, we're playing Pioneer. All right, we'll say go. Epicure. If they play Anvil, I'll probably veto it. Anvil's kind of troublesome for this deck. Time to give our opponents a runaround. Yeah, if they ever make a game action, you know, we'll be able to do some nice stuff. They got us sitting here, sitting on our hands. Anvil, we'll veto. And now we have Detour if we want it. Blue, white, green. Through the other basic. Don't love it, but it's not a big deal. We'll Detour if we need to, but chances are we're just going to Growth Spiral. That way, if we hit a 5-drop or something, we can do some good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and Growth Spiral and let them Thoughtseize my Detour. I think the Growth Spiral is more important to resolve than a Detour here. Detour and Thoughtseize is kind of mediocre. I could have, I guess, detoured the Thoughtseize and then gone Growth Spiral and then main phase the Kahira into my hand. All right, Anvil. They're going to go ahead and sack. I wonder, I guess I'll go ahead and detour it just so they are stunted on draw. Maybe I should just wait for them to play a spell. All right, well, now we just need to draw a big payoff. Maybe in response to something, I target this, you know, if I don't want to put their spell on top. Anyone going to enjoy some adult beverages this evening? I might be interested. All right, we're just going to go ahead and put that on top. If they want to like play Deadly Dispute or sack or whatever, I want them to not deal me the 1 damage with this token. So we're empty-handed, but we have 6 mana in play. We're very far ahead on the mana front. We can go Kahira, play it, and have a blocker for these dipshits if we want to. But really, we're just looking for Teferi, Deluge, Shark Typhoon, something like that. Like, we need a payoff, you know? We mulligan, we got Thoughtseize, etc. Teferi Hero is good. Too bad we can't do this at instant speed. Now we're going to be looking for like Supreme Verdict or something. Soakin's on Rutro and Hive. And we know they have Oni Cold in hand, probably. Fairy down. All right, so Witch's Oven, Anvil. We are in some trouble. This will block Epicure. Maybe we should be blocking the tokens, though. Doesn't really matter, but putting the cards into the graveyard is actually worse in case they have a Croxa, technically. We know the last card is Gigantha, so we're going to take 4, and they're going to sack that. And then they're going to Oni Cold sack food token, probably. I guess we want Verdict here or something. I wonder if I should have bounced Otawara on my own Kahira. Here comes Gigantha. And then if we deal with it, they'll sack and get back familiar. Two, three, four, five, untap. So we can do this plus Otawara. Great draw. Call your shots. I mean, we've drawn very well. So wait for them to, I should have probably bounced this on upkeep. They're activating Hive, excuse me. So we'll bounce the Gigantha. They'll attack Teferi for 3. They'll probably sack the Gigantha. Oh, whoops. I guess I should have waited till combat. Big mistake. They can just cast it again. That was a huge mistake. They can just play for free. Misclick. I need some, maybe 2 farewells in this deck, to be honest. Wonder if instead of attacking Teferi for 3, they're just going to recast Gigantha. Wow. I can't believe they cast Familiar over Gigantha. That's crazy. It's so big. So we're going to go to 4. I guess this is just too much pressure, right? I just don't have Farewell, so I'm going to lose. So that's one thing we need to keep in mind. Maybe we just need 2 copies of Farewell at the top end instead of 4 Verdicts. They can't cast Gigantha? Oh, Gigantha doesn't let you cast Gigantha? That's fair. So we draw. Another land. All right, so I think we're dead because this is 3. They sacked the thing. Maybe they, maybe we're not quite dead because they didn't main phase their Cauldron Familiar Oni Cult effects. I guess we can only block the Hive and we take 1 from the Familiar because we have to double block it if they want to attack with it. All right, GG. All right, sideboarding. We got some stuff here. Hullbreaker's pretty good. The games go long. Ether Gust, they have some weird permanents that we need to put on top. Rest in Peace, probably okay. And I guess that's about, oh yeah, and then the Sharns for sure on the Sharns. So Growth Spiral, I think I want it. Wandering Emperor, I think is bad. Nissa's good. Krasis good, Teferi good. Verdict's okay. I'm gonna maybe trim a couple. Maybe I'll just trim the 1. I need all the marches. Maybe the Gusts are bad. Let's see. So these 5. How good is Rest in Peace? Does it just stop Cat Oven? If it just stops Cat Oven, it's probably not good enough. So we'll just do these 3 for these 3. Now, we won't have Kier anymore because we're bringing in Yasharn, but I think that's okay. Croxa 2. I don't think they have Croxa in that build, but I could be wrong. Oni Cult usually doesn't. If they do, it's usually in the sideboard. We'll keep this one. It's a little wonky, though. Need green mana. 2 Castle Ardenvale is a bummer. Green off the top here would be Divine. How about a Nissa? Maybe the deck has a little too high casting cost, yeah? Maybe we can't play Teferi and Nissa. Maybe. This deck is also just feeling like it could be a really bad matchup, right? They just have a bunch of like weird permanents. I know whenever I played Rakdos Sack, playing against old Blue Eye Control was never really that difficult, right? Not usually. Dovin's Veto is a nice draw here. It gives us the ability to counter their next thing, which is nice, as long as it's not Mayhem Devil. I think this is fine. I don't really much care about implement. It's just going to cycle or be food for later. Why did care pop up? You Shark's Elemental? Hullbreaker Horror? I guess? I don't know. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Maybe it should have. Am I dumb? It just didn't pop up, so I assume one of my creatures wasn't. So we got Cat, Elemental, Nightmare, Dinosaur, Beast. So I guess it's because Hullbreaker Horror is a horror and not a nightmare, which is weird, champ. There's 1K tomorrow at my local game store. I think I'm going to play Gates. Classic Call of Taste. If you want to play Gates, my man. There's no rules. It's all made up. Have fun. You know? Yeah, exactly, Ginini. We're just trying to get a feel for how Endless Detour works in these decks, right? Teferi on tap. What I'm thinking is maybe I want Wolfwillow Haven, because Wolfwillow Haven seems like it could be pretty good. Wolfwillow Haven seems like it might be okay. The rest. Alright, we'll just veto so they have less info. Or Thoughtseize, I might have let it resolve. Alright, Verdict's actually kind of a nutty draw here. Because these are actually going to be problematic. They're going to put us to 8. They're going to ignore Teferi completely. Makes sense considering. It's a lot of deserted beaches. White, blue, white, 1. We can't quite make a blocker, but they can't quite activate Den of the Bugbear either. And they didn't kill Teferi or me, so maybe we're just going to get double shrapnel blasted. Very fun. Not having absorb in the green splash version is a little awkward, but it's hard on the mana sometimes. Because we have a bunch of white sources. Alright, tap Blood Crypt. Good news. Shrapnel Blast 2, bad news. Very fun. Very close games. Did not get slaughtered, I promise. They were super close. Don't need to look any closer. Alright. Round 2. Let's see if this one goes a bit better. This hand's okay. We got some interaction. I'm gonna probably, I don't know if, I guess I'll lead with Overgrown Farmland so I can maybe turn to the March on something. Seems a little wonky. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I just don't take the damage. Or like, maybe I don't want to shock myself with a breeding pool later, and if I don't play it now, I might have to. And I guess the odds of me needing to march on that turn is pretty low. All right, consider, so there's some sort of visit deck. I'm not sure which flavor yet. Might make a 1/1 Shark Typhoon here, depending. We don't need Censor or not. I think Tyler is a friend of the channel, if I'm not mistaken. All right, played the Sokens on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cycle this. We're not gonna be hard casting it in a while, and puts a little bit of pressure on them. Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and kill it, burning a spell. That's nice. Really, we just want to hit land drops, right? So I think I'm gonna go Krasis for 2, maybe. The alternative is hold up Censor when they can very obviously not play into it. But if I just hit my land draw for Teferi next turn, I think we're going to be in business. Dragon's Fire. Okay, so they're the Goldspan Dragon deck. Hopefully they don't have a threat here. This is that spike deck from the other day. Iteration, nice. Now, my hope is that they don't have a land here, and then we go land for Teferi, and then we get Veto, or we get Censor. All right, GG. This should be game over, because now we have Censor and Veto up. We even have March up if we really want it. All right, so we know they have Goldspan. I'm going to veto this iteration, mostly because they are missing land drops, and I think they're going to miss again. They found a Spire Bluff Canal. Unfortunate, but we still have the Censor for the Dragon. We have the second white for the Verdict, so I think I'm going to go ahead and play Breeding Pool tap, just so I get the untap off of Teferi. I guess I should have probably also just done Kahira into my hand. Here comes a dig. I can't do much about this dig. I think I still want to hold on to the Censor. This deck looks sweet. I think it is kind of sweet, but I think it's just a couple cards off Jab Jabber. We got to work on it a little bit. You do like Endless Detour? Me too. I think it might be better in like an aggro deck though. Like your Bant Tiles Tracker decks, where you just need to stop something for a turn. Similar to how like you saw those like blue-green decks with Chariot pop up at the end of the standard season last season, where they were like, hold on, let me play this turn out. The Castle Ardenvale is gonna enter tapped, right? Do I want to play the Kahira into my hand? I think I just, let's see. Or we can Deluge plus Censor. Oh, this was dumb. Well, they hit their land drop, so now they can play the dragon. I guess we have to march it. Faerun. All right, let's Deluge in response. We have to, okay, well, I'll just take Emperor and another Teferi, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and cycle the Censor. And we'll Verdict, and they'll get a card off of it. They draw one, they hit the Teferi. We'll tick up. All right, we'll just untap our two white sources so we can Wandering Emperor. And when they go for the dragon, I should probably discard Kahira. I never should add it to my hand. It's just made me discard twice. Just big stupids. Smoldering Egg, that's fine. With fire on the Teferi, that's also fine. I only have 3 cards in hand. We know one of them is the dragon. I'm gonna go ahead and march the egg. I think I'm gonna save the Wandering Emperor for a surprise attack on the dragon. I guess the Bant trial end would be pretty good here, so that's another thing I probably want to add. Alright, so I have 3 mana up. I guess I go for Endless Detour while it's on the stack. See if they go counter with backup. Slumgar Scorn. Okay. I'll pay 1, bro. It's got to be in play, bro. Iron Blood. So I wasn't able to get any cards for free, and I just forgot about it when I was building decks. So it's kind of like little column A, little column B scenario. But, well, they should probably be in here. Alright, so these 6 probably coming in. Veto, Censor, Detour, these are all fine. Deluge, Verdict. We can maybe trim a Verdict. I don't want these rest in pieces. I wanted the Ether Gust, sorry. I want Narset. They don't have a ton of things to say draw a card on them except for Consider and Opt, right? They even have Dig at the top end. I guess it stops Niv, kind of. Kind of. This is not a good matchup for Nissa, who shakes the world, I don't think. We can't really afford to tap out too much on our own turn. I want to keep the spirals. The Veto. Maybe we'll trim the Veto. All their big threats are creatures. Everything else is card draw and counter spells. So Veto being used to win a counter war is not good. You want this when it's targeting their payoff. I will try this for now. Trim some marches. Are we going to play Beach first so that we can hold up a 2-mana spell? I'm not sure if I'm going to Growth Spiral or not. If I draw a land, I will, but if I don't draw a land, yeah. Should have probably Temple Garden so I could go maybe shock in the Breeding Pool and cycle Censor if I wanted. Not a huge deal either way. Alright, let's go Growth Spiral. Then Temple Garden. Drew the land. Now, can EOT threaten the Teferi while holding up stuff? Or threaten the Wandering Emperor, rather? Guess that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and get Wandering Emperor down in response to the Expressive iteration. We'll go ahead and make a 2/2. On an opt, good for me. That means they're tapping out. And all of a sudden we have 2 Planeswalkers on the table and our opponent's dead. Because we get to untap with Ether Gust, just like the good old days. Just like the good old days. Teferi untap, hold up Ether Gust. GG, friends. GG. Now, even if they go for Dragon here, we have the Censor for it too, so. How's that feel, bro? How's this one feel, bro? How's this one feel, bro? That was an easy 2-0. Easy. Alright. This hand's a Slapperoo. Keepoo. Galgari's and Winota. Yeah, we're going to try it out, Doctor. We're going to try it out. It might be worse than the briefcase, but we're going to try it out. Might be worse than Voice Resurgence, but guess what? We're gonna try it out. I feel like I should just not play Kahira because it never does anything, right? Maybe that's a good reason not to play Kahira ever. Because it never actually does anything. Alright, let's just draw 3 lands in a row. Would be nice. Wouldn't mind drawing 3 lands in a row. Alright, Soulscar's fine. If they played Eidolon, I would have had to play something in response. Yeah. See if we can draw March. Maybe we want to go March for 1. I doubt it, but you never know. Huh. Well, now I kind of want to. Just for the tempo. We're going to hold up Detour over main phase in the growth spiral. Kamano, okay. Alright, so put the Soulscar either top or bottom, their choice. The Stomp resolves, we go to 15. If they play creature next turn, it'll get medium-sized bigger, but we have the Verdict for later. We just don't have the white source for it just yet. How's Detour been? Pretty good. I don't know if this is the right deck for it, but it feels good. It just feels like, I don't know. I don't know how to say, like, it doesn't solve the problem, right? Absorb solves the problem and gains some life back, whereas Detour is kind of temporarily dealing with it, so it feels like maybe it belongs in a mid-range deck rather than a control deck, is all. White, blue, blue, Verdict. Be big, so I don't want to take the 5, so I'm going to go in Verdict, and then they'll maybe play another creature or 2, and then we'll Verdict again. We're at 13. Maybe we'll draw a land for Nissa. So we drew the land for Nissa. I still think maybe I just want a Verdict, though. But maybe we can wait a turn and force them to play a burn spell on our 3/3, or just brick wall their game plan completely. I think I'm going to untap Breeding Pool so that I can play the Growth Spiral. All right, they don't have the shock. That's good to know. I would say bad Coco deck, but you probably don't want any extra non-creatures in a Coco deck. Yeah, I was thinking more just like if you're going to play Tireless Tracker deck. Like a bad Tireless Tracker deck feels like perfect spot for it. Yeah, exactly. Using it as like a divide by 0 type effect for a Verdict is pretty powerful. Alright, so they played a land. They still only got 1 card in hand. They just conceded. Okay. Cool. I'll take it. 2 Ether Gusts come in. I think that's it. I don't really want this other stuff too much. What comes out? Veto, maybe? Maybe a Deluge, too? I like Censor, I like Detour, I like Verdict. Emperor's good. Teferi's good. The Nissa's fine, but maybe we actually trim a Teferi over the Deluge. But maybe not. Maybe Teferi's too powerful. And it pitches to March, so. People are just doing it because otherwise they lose to Chandra. Do I keep this hand? I think on the draw I do. I gotta say, these Hallowed Fountain Deserted Beach combo, not my jam. Just never know which land to play on one. I'm gonna play Hallowed Fountain. I really don't want to shock myself if I don't have to. Believe in the heart of the cards. Well, now we can march anyway, maybe. Maybe because we didn't have green, we should have mulliganed, huh? Figured they would play a spell, but I guess not. Alright, we'll just go ahead and Ether Gust the Eidolon, since we don't have the mana yet to march, and we don't... I guess we could have pitched Verdict to march it. I didn't really want to do that, though. If we draw a land... So now I guess we can march the Kamano, and then hopefully draw a land for the Verdict to get the Eidolon and whatever else they play. Looks like we're just going to be a little too low on life, though. And we kept a hand with no green and 2 growth spirals, so that's probably a dumb mistake, too. Chandra, well, that's a Jeej. The old 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. Alright. Go to 7. Reveal Bone Joan. The old boner. Old boner crusher. Alright, we'll be on the play here for the 3rd game. Do I want the Dovin's Veto back in? I guess I should always expect the Chandras after sideboard. I like the Nissas as a way to actually attack them. Maybe Censor can come out. I don't know. Just don't feel like I have time to cycle them basically ever because all of our lands intertapped. It's another problem we need to work on. Problem that's kind of inherent with just playing 3-color decks, I think. Alright, well, I'm going to play the Hallowed Fountain first. Hope that I don't need to march on 2. I really don't want to shock to do it since we have the Verdict. Opponent kept 7. Okay. Maybe we Dreamroot in case we draw... Maybe that's it. Maybe we Dreamroot in case we draw Growth Spiral. But I am feeling the missing Tri-Lands here. The Triumph would be good. Let's just play the tapped land. Hope we don't deal ourselves any damage. Alright, if they go like Skewer plus Shock or whatever, I might pitch. Alright, we'll just take the damage and then Verdict next turn, I guess. Chandra, Dress to Kill. March don't kill that one, folks. I think we're in trouble. Yeah, she's good here. She's always good, man. This card is just extremely powerful. think I'm gonna kill this. Because I feel like I'm just not gonna cast any other cheap spells for a while, and I might actually be able to steal the game with Wandering Emperor tokens. Maybe not, though. Maybe that one life ends up mattering quite a bit. Am I verdicting next turn? Should I just take 5 and then verdict? I feel like if I take 5 and verdict, I'm gonna lose. All right. Chandra dressed to kill is the reveal. I doubt they'll play another one. Doesn't make any sense. They play Rolling Vortex. Not a whole lot we can do about it for now. I'm gonna make a 2/2 to block instead of minusing to gain life. All right, we'll make another 2/2. I'm gonna play Otawara. I'm gonna play Teferi. I'm gonna minus on the Chandra dress to kill. Now, if they want to spend their whole turn activating Den to attack, they can only kill one of the planeswalkers. And we'll have the other one stick around and dominate. If they have burn spells, they can just do that. So next turn, they can play Den, and the next turn they have Chandra. If I get to untap with this, I think I win. Even against the Rolling Vortex. All right, I think I just say, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I can go. If I Gross Spiral, I get to untap 2. I have 5 open and go Deluge and a 1-drop. I can go Deluge plus Gust if I just do nothing. I think that's probably best. Back for 3 Vigis. And I guess we'll just Gust the Chandra. And then we can maybe kill them with the Hall of the Storm Giants next turn if we draw a land. Imagine Wilderness Strike. I know. Wilderness Strike would be kind of fucked. Wilderness Strike with Wandering Emperor seems kind of cracked, you know? Nice. All right, keep this one. Dead for the Sins of Nexus. Yeah, although it was banned and then Nexus was banned and then they banned Reclamation like years later, like a year later or something. So not quite, but I get the gist. What's up, Beta? Reg ban fires not. Yeah, that's because of the sorcery speed stuff. I think it's fine. All right, we're gonna hold up Censor / Veto / Spiral. Looks like they're Winota probably. They might be Gruul aggro, but yeah, looks like Winota. A lot of Winota lately. Attack for 1. They're not going to play around the Censor, or they're not going to play a 2-drop. Either one. Happy. Thank you for letting me censor this. Appreciate it. Immediately punished. Love it. So now we have Veto for a Chariot. We got Detour for a Winota. We can even go Gross Spiral Veto if it's Chariot. All right, so let's go. We need a white, so let's go green, blue. I think I'm gonna Krasis for 2. And then even if they Winota me, we get to block the elf, and then we have a chance to interact with a Winota. And they might just miss. And they might not have land Winota also. And I did need to hit my land drop. Alright. Tapped land. If this is a chariot, it's a bummer. It's just an elf. Just an elf. Just an elf. Just 2 elves. It's just 2 elves. Just 2 elves. Brutal Cathar. Put it on top. So we got blue, green, white. Let's see where they put it. Show game log. They put it on the bottom. Okay, good news. I think I'm gonna go and cycle the Censor. It's looking kind of poop soup now. Verdict's a draw. I think I just chill. Keep playing defense. All right, that's fine. We'll just verdict now. All right, your go. Now, we even have a march here in case things get really south. But they just have the land, so we're just going to land at Teferi. Draw land, we can detour back up. It's kind of rad. Nice. All right, game should be over now. Teferi draw. Untap this and this. One of each dual land will do. What's up, F2P? Could have picked up your Krasis. Oh, you mean with the detour? Nah. I don't want to stunt their draw. And it wouldn't have been for very much anyway, right? So, all right, let's go green, blue, green, 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 green. Whatever. We'll draw 2, get to untap. I guess I could have done it for 4 and then had the detour back up. That probably would have been better. But I feel like it just doesn't matter. When things don't matter, you should play faster. That's what I've learned throughout my life. Easy. Hoochie says, Winota, Boris Heroic, Monored Prowess, or Spears for afternoon tonight have access to most new cards. LOL. Try out Boris Heroic with Boon of Safety and let me know how it goes. I want to know how good Boon of Safety is, to be honest. All right, Gus coming in. Don't want anything else. Rip's not good. Damning Seer's not good. Dispute. Narset, Yasharn. Maybe the Hullbreaker Horror? I don't think so, though. Boris Heroic with a new fencing ace. Maybe. That one seems okay, too. Also, what's up, Paladin? How are you doing today? Chat, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the follow button. We play a lot of Pioneer here. We try out a bunch of new cards when we can. Try out new decks when we can. If that's something you're interested in. I'll be here most weekdays, noon to 5-ish. Noon to 5-ish. I think I'm going to mulligan this one. Too much. Wrong color. Keep. Go back to Nissa. We'll just keep gross pile lands, basically. We have to lead with, what, farmland and then breeding pool for growth spiral. We drew verdict, though. That's huge. Even if they would notice, we have a chance to verdict if we don't die. Are you giving Esper Control a shot? I don't know if I'm doing that anytime soon. I haven't seen a list or anything. Is there a specific card that you're trying to build around, friend? Or are you just a generic Esper Control guy? You're just really big into Esper Control. All right, if this is Chariot, I'm in trouble. If it's Winota, I'm in trouble. Okay. I think I have to main phase exile the voice, take a big hit. Maybe I don't have to main phase, actually. Maybe I just say go and I can hit Chariot. Just excited for Esper Triumph. I see. I don't have anything like that on the docket, though, unfortunately. All right, make a blocker. We might be doing it, chat. Might be doing it. We're figuring it out. Winota's a problem, obviously. Another Chariot. Also a little bit of a problem. It's too many tokens. Too many pressures. Too many pressure points for no vulnerabilities. Chariot's so dumb. You're a Fourth Thoughtseize main guy, to be honest? Well, if you're a Fourth Thoughtseize main guy, why in the hell are you, why in the hell are you playing Triumph? Triumph and Thoughtseize don't go well together, I don't think. We'll see, though. I don't know. Connie says finished eating leftover smoked pork butt from last weekend. Took 14 hours, but it was worth. Brisket is on my list of things to smoke. Nice. I don't have a smoker myself. I used to be a smoker, and then I grew up. Hero J, thanks for the Prime Gaming sub for 6 months. Says thanks for all the great content. You've become one of my favorite streamers. Thanks, Hero J. I appreciate the kind words, friend. Glad to have you on board the Todd Squad. Glad to have you in chat most days. All right, we're gonna minus on the Chariot. Trade with a token. Guess we'll play Kahira and put a counter on it. We're at 12. Hopefully we draw anything to do this turn. Your favorite calling them tricycle lands? No, I'm just gonna call them triomes. Yeah, or triland. Triland doesn't mean the same thing though. Trilands are the old ones. Your yeah, that's about right. Just say triomes. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all made up. Do I want the Krasis? I kind of want the Hullbreaker Horror, to be honest. I feel like the game's just gonna get kind of grindy, and I just need like a big guy at the end. All right, let's do this, this, this. I'm gonna trim a Censor. It's not bad on the play. It's just that counterspells in general can be bad against them. Maybe I don't want the Hullbreaker Horror. Maybe we'll just leave the Censors. Do I want the Nissas though? Maybe they're way better on the play. I just feel like I have to verdict so much that Nissa is not good enough, right? All right, let's try that. Yeah, the Cons had some tri-lands and Alara had tri-lands. Those were the tri-lands. All right, we're gonna keep this hand and just hope we draw blue. 4 blocks Kahira. What does that mean? I know that it means I can't Kahira anymore, but that's okay. Kahira kind of sucks. I literally said that while I was sideboarding. Hey, Tandy, do you think Dovish Valet would be cool for Winota? I don't think it's cool for Winota. I think it's cool for Rally the Ancestors. I don't think it does enough in Winota. Like, you're just winning too much at that point, right? Like, it's you're winning too hard. Yo, what's up, Ryan? So we drew the blue source. We'll go ahead and play it. Tap. They didn't play a 1-drop, so we don't need to shock to hold up March without having to pitch. If they play voice, we'll just exile it on our own turn. Yeah, Coney, it can go in either, I think. It can go in either, I think. I think I'm going to save the other March for a Chariot or Winota. And then if they go for Winota here, I don't know if I'm going to... I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Okay, this resolves. I'm hoping they attack with the elf. If they attack with the elf and I get to Wonder and make a 2/2 to block, I'll be pretty happy about it. All right, so now I can go Shock to Fairy plus, but I can't exile the Chariot. So let's just go this. The counter here. That's first strike, so we can attack. We can also make a Castle Ardenvale token if we want. Killing Narset with Obscure Charms from a new thing. Oh, nice. So I can exile Brutal Cathar in response. They can activate Chariot and attack this. I think that's too... I guess I'll just let this die. And then I'll be in a rough spot. All right, so they're gonna attack Wandering Emperor for 2. I'll probably cash her in to make a 2/2 blocker, and then play Teferi and tick up and hold up Veto, so they can't play another Chariot. And we just hope they don't have another Winota. Yeah, Winota would be a death sentence here. I guess we're not dead, and we can maybe go Deluge. Oh, nice, they didn't have it. So they're gonna hit Teferi for 4. We trade for the Brutal Cathar so it doesn't transform. Nice. Veto. Now we get to main phase the Deluge and look for answers here if we don't draw them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can do this for 4 and then hold up Detour. Alright, so we'll just untap our other 2 dual lands. Detour was a great draw. Now we also have Censor too if it's a Winota. So they're going to send both at Teferi. We're going to go for the protection. It's a little dangerous in case they have Chariot number 3, but I think it's worth it to just keep the Teferi around because we have this big Shark Typhoon. If we draw a land, we can go hardcast Shark Typhoon, untap, play Deluge. Third Chariot. Okay, so now we're in a weird spot. I think we're fine though. Who's the token deck now, baby? So now we have Censor for Winota. Tapped land, thank God, in case it was Winota. Crossroads Innkeeper's fine. Another Innkeeper's fine. Hardcast Shark, baby? Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do in the whole world, honestly. Now, this Lair of the Hydra could be scary. I think we just try to turn the corner here and we just kill them with flyers. Let's see how that goes. Take Detour and a Dreamroot. Alright, let's go minus on the Chariot. Play another Teferi, make a 5/5. And then we have Detour plus Censor backup. Drew March, nice. We'll just go for the kill over 2 turns. Alright, let's untap some blue sources, I guess. Gonna make Castle if we want as well. What's up, Civic? Jay Brislon says, I feel like Explore might be the reason Winota finally gets banned. I don't think it deserves a ban through TBH. So many decks have game against it. I think it deserves to be banned. It never should have been made in the first place. I get that's from, like, chat, like, every day. The same thing. Same thing every day. 4, 5, 6. Alright, Detour. Alright, 3-1. You know, Ether Gust is one of the best spells ever printed. Do I keep this one? No green? I think I keep it. Look for green. We'll get there. Don't worry. We do have Veto, which is great in the mirror. Censor's not bad either, but people just don't tap out, and we need to hit our land drops, so... We did not hit... I guess I'll protect myself from a Narset. Sometimes the 80 card your index, main deck, Narset. Some other three permanents that I'm not thinking of. Alright, glad I did. Wish I didn't have to burn my one Veto on the Narset there, but it is what it is. Kind of need to just put something on the table. Our hand's like kind of dog shit. And it's just fucking no green, allverdicts.com. Main phase Deluge. I'm fine with that. As long as they're not progressing their board, I'm pretty happy about it. It's obviously a powerful card, but we both have plenty of powerful cards that are gonna probably resolve at some point. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and Deluge myself. I didn't hit a land? Are you fucking joking? No green source in the top 20. Love to see it. Now they get to untap with Veto. I don't know, I guess I'll just try. I mean, they might not have Veto. Marginal hitting Planeswalkers is a huge problem for blue-white X control. You just lose to other Planeswalkers too much. No bad Triumph. It was missed in deck building. It should probably be a 4 of Mark. It was just missed. I built this deck about 4 days ago when I was building like 4 other decks, so... Green source. Alright, we'll go, I guess... Detour Teferi on upkeep. Yeah, I mean, this is a... I mean, we kept a hand that was a little lackluster, so that's probably on us. Alright, we'll wait till the draw step. We'll try it anyway. I doubt it'll work. Oh, no worries, Mark. I appreciate the apology, though. That actually makes me feel good. Because a lot of people, they just ask a question about a mistake that I've already made, like, a long time ago, and it's just like, I don't know what to tell you. So, shout out. A real one. Alright, well, they let the Detour resolve. They put the Teferi on the bottom. That's kind of ridiculous. I'm just gonna say go. They can't Deluge from grave. I'm playing another Deluge, okay? Yeah, that's kind of what I was going with at first, but after playing the league with the deck, I do want better mana. So I think the Triomes are just good. I have too many of these slow lands. I just don't have enough things to do with them on 2. I'm pretty sure. Let's see where they put it this time. Game log, top. Okay. And then we'll just Growth Spiral, I guess. If we draw a land, we'll hit the Omen of the Sea. This is just gonna make their Yorn a little worse. It gives me one less answer to the Hall though. All right, we're gonna play Krasis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I will draw 3. I'm assuming it's getting countered or killed, so I didn't really want to shock and do one more X. Plus, if I drew another Hall or something, I wanted to be able to play it. Drew a couple more marches for the Hall. That's nice. Shark Typhoon for 1. Okay. Now they're gonna play what? Teferi, and then they gotta deal with this. So maybe they'll go Verdict Teferi. Portable hole on that. All right, fine. Held this back. I'm gonna go for the Hall. Hope they don't have a march. Otherwise, I'm just never gonna be able to kill the Teferi. It's another shark. All right, Teferi down. And now it's Castle Ardenvale versus the World. They have 7 cards in hand. I have a Deluge in the Grave. They have 3. Field of Ruin, brutal. I do have basics though, so it's not that bad. Another Teferi. They didn't play it. Weird champ. I don't think there's any reason to play a big Krasis while the Narset's on the table, so we'll just go for Deluge, I guess. We'll do it now while they're tapped out, though. We can still play the Detour. I'm going to take Nissa and Teferi. Could have took Boseiju to kill the castle, though. Maybe that was worth. Next turn, we can play Teferi and Nissa. Yeah, what's up, Miller? New deck, baby. Alright, I'm gonna detour the Teferi. White, blue, green. They're gonna fight back. Blah, blah, blah. Chiwari Disruption. Brutal. Brutal. Shit happens, though, huh? How do I feel about the Yorn list? Is it worth the trouble? I don't know what that means. Is it worth the trouble? It's just a different version of the deck. I think they just have their own strengths and weaknesses that you can decide for yourself if they're good enough or not. It's just different deck, you know? All right. Well, I'm gonna detour the absorb. So we got white, green, blue. What a battle, chat! We are having a brawl. I don't. I mean, you know, I don't know. They're both good. They're just different. Just different decks, you know. I think I tapped my mana poorly. I think I could have played Teferi this turn too. If I tap these and untap. Alright. I fucked up. I'm just gonna concede. I can't win this game. We're just gonna play for 20 more minutes and I'm just gonna lose very slowly. Alright. So let's go. Narset, Hullbreaker, Mystical Dispute in. We'll trim on some of the Supreme Verdicts. And I want these. These are good. Emperor's good. We can trim 2 marches. Maybe I want to trim all the marches. I'll leave in a couple though. In case they got some weird shit after board I need to deal with. It's also good against the land. Hall of the Storm Giant. Alright. Not in love with this hand, but if we draw some lands, we'll be in business. I can cycle some Shark Typhoons. I think this matchup's kind of rough. Kind of a rough one. What's the league score? Currently 3-1. For some reason, the extension is bugged. Let me see if can someone see if Spikes is working? If his is working, I need to know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, his is bugged too. Okay, I'm not worried about it. Let's go Castle Ardenvale tapped, since that one's more likely to be tapped than Dreamroot. It breaks every set release. Yeah, I'm just not sure why, or if there's something I can do to fix it. But I guess it's just Magic Online stuff. Didn't draw the land, unfortunate. Opponent's lands both enter tapped as well. Maybe they have a bad draw too. Deck does not look good this match, that's for sure. I guess it looked okay last game. If I don't draw a land, I'm just going to concede probably. Hey, we drew a land. Alright, well now we'll just cycle Shark Typhoon or we'll detour something. Hell, maybe we should be an 80 card Yorion Omen of the Sea deck, huh? Maybe that will help us out a little mana wise. Just like playing Omens and stuff early. Then we can play some Farewells and not feel too bad about it. Probably play more Deluge too. The squeeze of Deluge and Wandering Emperor is so brutal. Found a land, love it. Gonna go ahead and battle. Wow, Scry 2, huh? That's good news for me. I think maybe while they're tapped out, I make a Wandering Emperor token. I bet they had Dispute up. But now they can go Teferi plus, but then I can just pressure it. Alright, well, we'll just say go. We got Endless Detour plus Mystical Defeat backup, and we got pressure. Every little bit of pressure helps. Yeah, just let this happen. If they want to eat this, that's fine. If they want to make a 2-2, that's fine. They make a 2-2, we'll just probably march it. All right, we're gonna go for a block on Samurai first in case our creature gets killed. And then I guess I'll just detour the token. All right, that's fine. So now we'll put a counter on the Shark and attack the Emperor. I guess if they also have March, this could be bad. Faithful Absence, my Emperor. Okay. Land? That's a fucking bummer. Alright, I'm just gonna take 2 land, I think. Probably cycle the Censor here. Alright, we're gonna attack. Alright. Here we go. We'll just EOT cycle Shark Typhoon for 4 and then try to kill the Emperor, I guess. Maybe I should have went for the trade. I don't want him to just like tap out for a Teferi either. Emperor's a beating? I know. Mine was going to be really good, and then they had Fateful Absence, so... Hmm. 3 cards in hand. I have 2 Dispute, so I can probably force through something here. I think I'm going to force through the Nissa. Nah, I'm just going to play the Hull Breaker, I think. If they play another... Okay, cool. It can't be countered. They need another Fateful Absence or like a big March to kill it. Going to 6 is kind of dangerous, but I feel like if I just play Teferi with 2 mana, I'm probably in trouble. At least the Hullbreaker Aura can't be countered. That's my reasoning for doing what I'm doing. Well, it looks like they have an answer. They had the March. Come on. I could have played this a different way, I guess. They had Absorb too. I don't know. So first and foremost, I think what I would want to do this deck is I would just play 4 of the Bant Triumph. I'd probably trim 1 Castle Ardenvale. I also am not sold on Otawara. The Nissa Who Shakes the World, I think, just clutter up the 5-drop slot a little bit. I'd probably reduce the number of those to 0. The Krasis were cool. The Detours were interesting. The Growth Spirals were good, but I think you need a little more mana. I think you need more lands, like at least 1, maybe even 2 more lands. I was thinking about what what spell lands we could maybe play to give us a bit of a better payoff for just playing so many lands with Growth Spiral. Balagad Recovery was one I was thinking about, but I think only tapping for green is kind of bad. The ones that deal E3, I don't think are good enough either. So maybe you just want 1 or 2 more lands just to help out. I don't know. The green cards were pretty good. Detour was pretty great. It was really, really exceptional in matchups where I needed my counterspell to actually interact with the battlefield. So that's cool. There was interesting scenarios with Teferi where I got to untap and hold up Detour, which is kind of sick because I could have it be a removal spell or a counterspell. I never put anything from the graveyard on top. I think that's going to be fairly rare as far as things go, putting things back on top of your deck.